We are live, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, and good evening, everyone. This is the May 11th edition of the History Preservation Board meeting. And we do not have a quorum this evening, but Secretary, do you want to take the roll in the event?
Sure. Steve Pickett.
Here.
Bernard Guthrie is not present. Robert Dorenzo.
Here.
William Feldkamp.
Here.
Judy Fox. She is available online. And Ricardo Martin is also present.
Here. Can you both hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
And Judy, can you hear us? Okay. All right, well, we do not have a quorum, so we're not going to go through our usual pledge of allegiance or whatever.
Yeah, we can just go straight. We're going to we would probably we can go straight to new business. And can you please make a motion to postpone this item? Oh, they can't. Never mind. We can only have a discussion. Okay. So since we can't take any action, we're going to go straight to planning issues. All right. Hold on a second. Sorry. No, no. We can just go straight. We're going to I just have to do that. We do need to mute it, probably, right?
Ms. Siddle, you're going to start the discussion of.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this PowerPoint, and I'm just going to go straight to the discussion of roofing material. It's just a
discussion on roofing materials for metal.
okay. So so in our minimal traditional frame styles and in several of our vernacular structures, we have a history in the city of having these metal shingle roofs. And at the time when these structures were built, there was a local manufacturer that provided this type of product locally. It was one of the few, types of roofing material made locally. So ergo, we had a lot of metal shingle roofs. So we're getting to the point where we don't have so many anymore on the remaining structures. So basically, what we have identified is there are kind of three ways. There's no exact match there's no true 100% exact match in kind replacement to metal shingle roofs. Because when you replace a roof now, it has to meet Florida wind code. So there are really only two products that we know about that in a metal shingle roof that also meet the wind load requirements for the Florida building code. One is this Oxford by Classic Metal Roofing style shingle, and you can see it here. It's available in white and slate gray and some other colors. The other metal shingle roof is this Victorian shingle by Barrage, and both of these products are a more expensive product than a standing seam metal roof. Another discussion staff was having internally, we were, before Abe and Jordan left, wanted to bring this discussion to you anyway, was there sometimes you are able to install certain types of metal shingle roofs horizontally. So the metal doesn't go down, it goes like this. And so here's an example of a metal shingle roof in the city. So, and you can see that it has these kind of horizontal lines similar to so that is a nether, and there are several examples of that all have that similar pattern. So basically what we're looking for tonight we were looking for some direction administratively. Administratively right now, we would approve the Oxford or the Victorian shingle. There was support in previous boards to allow metal shingles to be replaced with standing seam metal roofs when Darren was here. But that was a long time ago. That's when I was on the board. We're talking now 12 years ago, right? So it was a while ago. I don't know, we didn't know if that had shifted. And Jordan had done some research when he was here that there are certain types of standing seam products that can be installed horizontally rather than vertically down that replicate that pattern. And so the question tonight is, are you only okay with staff approving these two products administratively? Are you okay with the horizontal installation of metal shingle roofs with standing seam if they have a product like that? Also, are you okay with asphalt gray shingle replacing? You know, like, where is the line? Obviously, we have had a position that we want to retain the metal shingle roofs in so much as feasible. New roofing is required now for insurance. So replacement roofing isn't a lot of, so
Okay, well, let's hear from some board members. Mr. DeRenzo.
Going through this.
Turn your mic.
Oh, can't hear me, Bert. I've been doing this selling real estate in Lake Worth 30 years. And you know, like you said, the insurance you just mentioned is very tough. Years ago, we came across them a lot more often. Granted, they had 50, 60, 80 years of silver paint and paint to the point where it was just paint with a very thin layer of rust underneath. I believe the Oxford one, just my opinion, looking at it, just going back to that looks more like a better replacement for a tile roof than a metal roof. It just, from here, it gives that appearance of a tile. I like the Victorian shingle. I personally, since we've done it so much through the years, when these metal shingle roofs, and there was like 5 of them on North End Street, just literally between 7 to 10 that had those metal shingles. I wouldn't mind an asphalt 3-dimensional. It's just because the majority of them that have been replaced with the asphalt shingle in the neighborhood through the years. And now that we're getting more historic, but insurance-wise, it's a big major factor. I personally wouldn't have a problem with asphalt shingle replacement.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Martin, if we can hear you, what's your opinion?
Well, as was mentioned, the insurance industry is in big turmoil. It will be affecting a lot of our can you hear me?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, no, it's just, it'll be affecting a lot of the people that haven't even applied to do any renovations or roof changes because they're receiving letters from insurance companies that they're being canceled unless they change their roof. So we're going to be facing this a lot more often in the coming year and couple of years. Another thing I wanted to say is that I don't know, and this is more of a question. Can we expand under that traditional architecture for the cottages? Can we expand the type of roofs that we can install? Not only the asphalt shingle, but also the regular vertical instead of horizontal.
No.
Metal.
No,
No?
you can't. So not for contributing structures. So if you are, you would have to make the determination that, like what we're saying is that if you wanted to allow the standing seam installed horizontally, you would have to make the determination that that is an in-kind replacement of a historic material. It is the closest one we can get and that it's consistent. Now for non-contributing properties, we would allow a metal standing seam roof. We have direction from the board previously that allows those on the minimal traditional and some of the others, but not for contributing resource. If they have a metal shingle roof, they have to replace it in kind per our ordinance.
Right. Okay.
Now, how many homes in the historical district have, this is the first I hear of this type of roof. Do we have
Yeah.
more than one house like this?
Yes, yeah. There's probably about a half a dozen at least left.
Yeah.
You know, it was at one point a very significant component of the homes from the 20s, 30s, and into some of the early 40s when this company was making. I don't have the details, and
That was with that same builder that
Mhm.
same design.
And
Okay, next.
I know we don't get involved with cost, but is this very significant difference?
So the only time we can get involved in cost if it's a formal economic hardship. So we
Okay,
have an
so-
economic hardship application process. And in the cases of economic hardship, we have recommended the gray asphalt shingle as the alternate replacement.
Okay.
in Economic hardship
Okay,
in the past.
okay, so there's alternatives, okay. All right,
Now, Mr.
I'm not in love with the idea of having this asphalt shingles on there. With something, especially when you.
I can't hear.
A limited resource. I
Steve,
guess
can
you'd
you speak up and speak in the microphone? They're having a hard time.
say.
Yeah.
There's such a limited resource with just, half dozen of these roofs left in the city. And I acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of insurance issues going on now and that type of thing. Is there a way that we could incentivize somehow? Is there some kind of way to incentivize using shingles as opposed to just requiring it outright?
So there is no budget to incentivize shingles with a financial grant process. The incentive that we have built into the code is the property tax exemption for the improvements. But what we recommend typically is this benefits property owners that are not homesteaded the most, because what happens is their property gets reassessed at the end of the 10-year period. So if you're planning to be homesteaded and stay there for a significant number of time, it's usually more beneficial to keep your homestead than to go with the tax exemption and be reassessed. So that is our one financial carrot, is the tax exemption.
So in that regard, we could say that the shingles were eligible for that tax incentive, but the asphalt shingles, for instance, or some other type of roof wasn't.
Yes, yeah, I mean, you could make that direction. And you know what, tonight you can just say, if there's consensus among the board, we want to see cases. If it's not this Verage and it's not this Oxford, we want those to come back as individual board cases, because there's huge parts. What would you, what are you feeling comfortable that staff could approve without it coming back to you? And that's the comfort level we're trying to judge here.
Okay, Ms. Fox, your thoughts?
What does that big book that we work so hard on to put out say? Does it just say to put these shingles on this particular kind of house?
So, yeah, so the book talks about the fact that, and I'm going to share it with you. The book
If that's the rule, then that's the rule.
Right, but the problem with the rule here is that we have to select a product. They don't make that exact perfect.
You have an exception.
Right, so we have
Okay,
it.
so
there's
you're
not-
hunting for alternatives for it.
Right, that's what we're getting direction. So we're showing you the two shingles that are on the market that meet wind code. And we're asking you, are you also okay with a standing seam metal roof installed horizontally as opposed to vertically? Because of that.
How would that look?
I don't think good.
So, let me go. Hold on, let me look for it online.
You actually have one.
Yeah,
Because my neighbor has one of those shingle roofs on,
Weird.
and it looks nice, but it was much more expensive than the regular shingle, than the regular metal roof that she wanted.
What are we looking for here?
yeah.
A roof done horizontally out of metal.
Mhm.
She's gonna show us a big.
Yeah, no, what it looks like is it looks like a line. There's only a few types, and you have to,
Does it look like it's jerry rigged? Does it look like that they just took the least expensive way to go? mean-
What it looks like is it looks like basically, horizontal lines as opposed to vertical lines. So, of course I can't find
And
it.
the book would allow that.
This is what we're discussing. Is this an
Okay.
acceptable in-kind replacement? So the book speaks to replacements or speaks to that metal shingles. And so,
Well, why don't you try to find that photo of the horizontal shingle, and I'll make my comments.
sounds good.
First off, I would think that a standing seam roof vertical is absolutely inconsistent and should not be approved. I do think that asphalt shingles, as much as we hate them, if there is a major financial issue, an asphalt shingle, and it would not even need to be the dimensional, if you can get a,
We don't approve anything other than dimensional.
is that for hurricane reasons or for?
It's because, most of the roofs were the, metal shingle, which has a more textural component.
Mm.
And then the dimensional shingle most accurately replicates that over a 3 tab. And we have had a policy of that. They also are beneficial in that they're better for wind stuff.
Now,
So,
in terms of the financial issue, certainly is going to be more expensive. I think the only benefit that you could provide is that instead of an asphalt shingle with a 20 to 30-year lifespan, you could have a metal roof with a 80 to 100-year lifespan. So on a per year basis, you're certainly better off with a metal shingle, or you're certainly at least equal. So I would think that from what I'm hearing, the horizontal metal roof is not something that I would want to approve, unless you could show a photo of something that would work.
Everybody has a crinkled nose on that.
okay.
So that seems to be our consensus.
Okay, so, so administratively, you would want, basically requests for asphalt shingles to come back to you as individual cases, and that administratively, that the metal shingle of the Barrage or the Oxford, depending on the look of the individual property, can be approved at the staff level.
I think that's the way.
Yeah, I think we ought to open up and give more
What
choices.
about color also? I mean, that is basically, we're talking the silver roof.
We're talking a silver roof. Staff does
Thank
not,
you. And
does,
that needs to be, because we're looking at rainbow colors up here.
no, staff only approves either the white or the silver
Thank you.
for the Oxford Classic, because here, let me share with, because because the metal shingle would have been silver, or it would have been painted white
Right,
afterwards. And then the Victorian shingle is the one, is the only other alternative. It is the flattest with the least amount of detail, which most accurately replicates. And Judy, the reason why we selected these is these are the two that we know of that have been installed in the city that meet Florida wind code. The problem is there's not a lot of product that meets the wind code. So that is metal shingle.
Now, the classic metal roofing does have a local rep up in Palm City. I can't remember the name of it, but they are local. They're
these are raised the regular metal roof.
the classic metal roof.
Mhm.
Really?
Yes, they have a local rep down in Palm City.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice to know. So,
Yeah, and then I can show you, they have more pictures. I picked that one because it was like, but what is it? Classic metal roofing. They have,
Okay, so have we made our board comments known? That a asphalt shingle roof, dimensional only, I guess, would come in the board. Replacement with either of these metal roofing alternatives could be approved administratively,
mhm.
and that standing seam roofs are not acceptable here.
Okay, and would you like to see only the asphalt shingle with an economic hardship application, or that's preferred, obviously, but, or would you be willing to look on a case by case?
I think look at that case by case. I don't think
Yeah.
Okay, and it would be dimensional, your direction would be, don't come back with anything other than dimensional gray asphalt shingle, light gray.
Light, gray.
Like, great.
Okay,
All right, does that answer
yeah,
your question?
thank you, that provides great direction. So,
Is there anything else that we can do here this evening?
just on planning issues, I'm just gonna let you know that the Gulfstream Hotel will be considered on first reading at the beach in the casino building on Tuesday, June 7th is when it's scheduled. There will be a webpage posted with the links for the public comments this week. The notices are going out, and the next week, I think next Wednesday is the 18th. So there is a city commission meeting, which you are invited to attend on the outcome of the workshop, or sorry, the charrette downtown. We were thinking originally they were gonna report out to the boards, but with the budget, they're gonna report out to the city commission, and then we're going to gather the city commission direction and then provide a staff update to each of the individual boards at the meeting. It's in July. And we can't do our annual organizational meeting because we don't have a quorum. So we
What
will,
was the charrette for?
the charrette was for the downtown. Remember the L&M
Yeah.
Street? So the other piece is the annual organizational meeting will happen at the July meeting. And we need to announcement.
If you all have not done your ethics training in a while, make sure you are staying current with that. At Palm Beach Ethics, Palm Beach County Ethics.com. They have their annual training there. It's done on their site. If you have any questions, give Erin or myself a call. We can send you a link if you can't find it.
So you guys need to be keeping up with that. And then we're going to be getting probably some new board appointments in this summer. So William and I are discussing some CLG training for board members probably in the fall. So.
Well, on that subject, if you'll indulge me for a minute, I started architectural work in Boston back in the 1990s, doing restoration work in Back Bay, Beacon Hill, and dealing with them. Then I came to Florida and sat on Hrpb. There were 6 years. I chaired that for 2 of the years. And then 4 years on the Historic Preservation Board in Palm Beach. And in 2017, I started here. And now it's time for me to retire. So this will be my last meeting. And I'm looking forward to traveling. So it's been wonderful knowing all of you folks.
There's been a lot of good things.
Thank you, Bill.
You on the TV screen.
Surprise.
Thank you so much.
All around.
Well, thank you for your service, Bill.
Yes.
And I'm sure I will see you in the neighborhood on my walks and you can update me on your travel. And so I look forward to that.
All right.
So we're sorry to lose you, your expertise.
Yes.
Is there anything else on tonight's meeting? Tonight's non-meeting?
Tonight's non-meeting is adjourned, I guess.